Along with recent advances in auto performance and driving comfort, automotive electrical systems are becoming more advanced and complex every day. Our duty is to keep our customers' cars in tip-top condition at all times. This video will show you the basic information and techniques used to help you do this. One, routing of wire harnesses. 2, how to read electrical wiring diagrams. 3, how to use EWDs. And 4, repairing wire harnesses and terminals. Here are all the wire harnesses used in a single vehicle. Let's look now at the individual harnesses. First of all, looking from the front of the car, there is the engine room main wire harness. This wire harness is connected to the headlights, clearance lights, and turn signals, among others. Located in the center of the engine compartment is the engine wire harness. This connects the electrical parts of the engine with the engine ECU. Located under the cowl panel is the cowl wire harness. This harness runs from the left cowl to the right cowl. And hooks up to the combination meter and air conditioner control assembly. The instrument panel wire harness runs from the left cowl to the right cowl, parallel with the cowl wire harness. This wire harness branches out from the center to the center console box. The floor wire harness passes from the right and left cowls to the right and left sides of the floor. Branching out from these harnesses are the door wire harness and the luggage room wire harness. The door wire harness connects up in each door with the power window switches and the electrical door lock components. The luggage room wire harness goes to the rear combination lights and the license plate lights. Now we have looked at the main wire harness. Where and how are these wire harnesses connected with the other wire harnesses? Junction blocks and harness-to-harness connectors are used for these connections. The most important areas to notice are in the engine compartment and in the left and right kick panels. First of all, let's examine the engine compartment. The engine room main wire harness, engine wire harness, and cowl wire harness are connected by junction block number 2. In junction block number 2, relays such as the headlight relay and engine main relay, as well as the fusible links and the fuses, are installed. These supply the heavy current from the battery to the individual wire harnesses. Now we look at the kick panel on the driver's side. Here, the cowl wire harness, instrument panel wire harness, floor wire harness number 1, and front door wire harness are connected by junction block number 1, or with each other via harness-to-harness connectors in the vicinity of junction block number 1. In junction block number 1, the fuses and relays are installed in the same way as with junction block number 2. As is true for the cowl side on the passenger side, the individual wire harnesses are joined by connectors. Understanding the routing and connection locations of wire harnesses is extremely important when troubleshooting problems in the electrical system. Make sure you have a sufficient understanding of these items. Toyota issues EWDs for all models. Correctly and effectively using these EWDs will greatly assist you in troubleshooting. For this, it is important to understand the correct and effective way of using the EWD. We will use the latest EWD for the 1991 Camry to study the procedure. First, there is the introduction, in which the entire contents of the EWD are described briefly. Next is the section called How to Use. Here is where the real learning starts. This is followed by troubleshooting, which includes a description of the basic procedures for checking voltage and resistance. Also found here are procedures for disconnecting connectors and removing terminals. Study in detail the repair of wire harnesses shown in this video for the correct terminal removing procedure. This section is a description of the terms and symbols used in the wiring diagrams. There were originally 2 symbols for fuses and fusible links. However, as can be seen in more recent EWDs, there are now 3 of them for 3 capacity ranges. This symbol is also relatively new. It shows a splice point in a wire harness. Although there was originally only this symbol, by inserting a letter into the octagon, it is now possible to show the location of the splice point also. The next section is on relay locations. Here are the locations for the relays, junction blocks, and relay blocks used in the car. Also shown here are the locations of the relays and connectors in the junction blocks, and the internal circuitry of the junction blocks. The section called Electrical Wire Routing shows the locations of the wire harness connectors that are connected to the individual parts. This symbol is the code for this connector. The name of the connected part is written in the lower column. The first letter in the code is the first letter of the part name. For example, A9 refers to the right front ABS speed sensor, and B1 refers to the backup light switch. The harness-to-harness connectors are indicated by a rectangle, and the grounding points are indicated by an inverted triangle. The splice points explained earlier are indicated with an octagon to show their locations. With harness-to-harness connectors, the configuration and color are also displayed. The letter at the beginning of each symbol indicates